What's going on, fight fans? So we're literally 2 days away from Floyd Mayweather versus Berto that takes place live at the MGM Grand on Showtime pay-per-view, and as what I found out today, also on CBS's website, you can view the fight. I believe cbs.com/fight, and you can order the fight for $64.99. This fight kind of crept up real quick, obviously because of the fact that we found out about it rather late in relation to some of Floyd Mayweather's previous fights. There's not a lot of excitement, there's not a lot of hype going into this fight. Even with the talks of this being Floyd Mayweather's last fight, as what he's saying himself, his entire camp, though some people are still hinting at the notion that he will come back for his 50th fight. As it stands right now, like I mentioned before, this is a fight that a lot of people from the inception of it being announced weren't overly hyped about. Coming off the Manny Pacquiao fight, the fact that people spent $100 and it didn't live up to the hype, regardless of whose fault you thought it was, you know, Floyd Mayweather is a part of that equation, you know, for better, for worse. It's gonna be kind of tough for the general public to or so you'd think would come in and flood to this fight, let alone from the news we're hearing that the ticket sales are rather low in relation to what Floyd usually sells. So you got somebody like Berto, who really is getting a great opportunity, an opportunity most people won't get to face Floyd Mayweather. He's a heavy underdog, and even Showtime is kind of painting it as if Berto has this chance where Mayweather could show up old one night and it could be a scenario like Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. Though the historians will tell you that those scenarios, as far as the outcome of that fight and the potential outcome of this fight, would be drastically different as far as Floyd getting into the ring that night and how prepared he will be, as opposed to Mike Tyson and how prepared he was in Hong Kong. Not to beat around the bush, I mean, I have Floyd winning, potentially a late stoppage. We've seen Berto get dropped and knocked out by guys like Soto Caras, and we've seen him dropped by Victor Ortiz. And, you know, he's kind of a guy who, yes, you know, they're painting it like he's not a fighter that will be in boring fights, but we've seen Floyd against guys who've been in exciting fights prior, and he takes their best weapons away. And for Berto, man, I mean, I think this fight is really going to be determined on how Floyd wants to fight. Does he want to get in a slugfest with Berto? I don't see why he would want to do that, even though most people would say he may even have an advantage, considering he has a longer reach and he could probably get away with throwing combinations without there being a lot of danger on Berto's end. I mean, look, Berto's an athletic guy, but I think we all know he's completely out of his league in this fight. The easy bet is Floyd getting a unanimous decision, but I mean, I'm gonna go the extra length and say he may get like a late stoppage in this fight, and I think that's probably what they want to cap it off with for right now. If you're somebody who believes that Floyd is going to retire in this fight. Now, conveniently enough, news surfaced literally today about this whole situation with Floyd taking vitamin C and what have you through an intravenous, and apparently from WADA's protocols, that is a banned, not substance, but it's banned to receive that type of supplement in that way. So that obviously made headline news, and again, it's convenient that the fight is this Saturday and we're hearing about this now. It adds, I guess, to Floyd's name throughout, you know, the general public and in sports when it comes to his fights. It's always something. I don't think really anything's gonna come about this. I just, again, I find it very convenient that it's being discussed now. Though, again, the transparency or maybe the lack thereof from USADA is something to maybe keep an eye on. And WADA, more than them, have caught fighters and have caught athletes on a more consistent basis. So keep your eyes open as far as how that situation is going to turn out. I really don't think anything's going to be made of. I don't think people are really accusing Floyd so much as to, you know, him taking PEDs or anything. But again, I feel as if if the shoe were on the other foot with Manny, and you know his test came up kind of fishy, you got to think it would be a circus show. So, you know, for the Mayweather fans, I mean, don't be surprised to see, you know, memes going like crazy. And as quick as things are in 2015, I've already seen them. But again, man, it just adds to the the aura that is Floyd Mayweather. So this Saturday, there's, you know, a decent undercard. I mean that's kind of being overshadowed by the fact that this fight it doesn't have a lot of hype behind it, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's on pay-per-view, you know. And I think for the most part, I think that's the biggest gripe with everybody. If this fight landed on CBS, like what was initially being rumored and things of that nature, I don't think people would be so hard-pressed about it. But I think the fact that it is another 70, well, you know, we paid $100 now, and you know, we're paying $75 for this fight. The other thing you gotta remember too, Golovkin, Lemieux's next month, and it's cheaper than this card, which also includes Chocolatito, who's a fan-friendly fighter. And then the following month you got Cotto Canelo, that apparently, from what I'm hearing, this Andre Ward on the undercard deal is gonna happen. So, you know, we'll when you weigh it out, man, I mean, it comes down to the, you know, if you're somebody who wants to get more bang for your buck, and you know, so I think you're gonna probably get more sales, I would say, with obviously Cotto Canelo, because I think that's just a really big fight. But as to the future of Floyd Mayweather, we'll have to wait and see. I'll tell you right now that I don't think this is the last time we're gonna see him. I think he's gonna bow out for a little bit, let the coast clear, and when a big opportunity presents itself, and after he's had some rest, because I mean, we gotta remember, man, I mean, he stuck to his word and he fought like twice a year, like in 4-month intervals, or at least each year. So I mean, you can't really, you know, when you really think about it, man, I mean, you gotta cut him some slack in the sense of like being 38 years old and he's fighting twice a year for the last like 4 years. You know, and obviously people are gonna make concessions about, like, you know, the quality of opposition in total, averaging out, like, you know, how many good fighters did he really fight in relation to like the 6-fight deal he got. But again, man, like, it's nitpicking at this point. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. If this is Floyd's last fight, salute, but I don't think it's going to be. So September 12th, this Saturday, Floyd Mayweather versus Andre Berto. And then, like I was speaking about the undercard with Badal Jack and George Groves, as well as the rematch between Rocky Martinez and Orlando Salido, which could make, I mean, for really good fights. Tune in this Tuesday as the GYGB podcast will be broadcast from now till the end of the NFL season, obviously, because a lot of our fans are NFL heads, as we are, and we understand that Monday night is usually a ritual for football, especially the fantasy football heads. So tune in Tuesday nights, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, talkshoe.com, search GYGB. We're going to be talking about the outcome of this fight. Will the unprecedented happen? We'll have to wait and see, man. But tune in this Tuesday, and as I always say, subscribe and hit the links, and I'll be back with you soon.